Introduction to Stoicism, Outsmarting Life's Challenges. Imagine living in a world where external circumstances have little to no effect on you. A world where you can walk through the chaos, the noise, the distractions, and remain unfazed, where your mind is clear, your emotions under control, and you are constantly focused on what matters most. Sounds impossible, right? Well, what if I told you that this isn't a fantasy, but a skill that you can develop using a mindset that's over 2,000 years old? Welcome to the power of Stoicism. In this world of endless distractions, overwhelming pressures, and constant noise, it's easy to lose control. We live in a time where we're constantly chasing after more and more success, more possessions, more validation. And in the process, we become reactive, anxious, and overwhelmed. But imagine if you could stop all of that. Imagine if, instead of being a passenger to your emotions and circumstances, you were in the driver's seat, steering your life with calmness, clarity, and purpose. This is where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy that has stood the test of time, was developed by thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. Their teachings offer timeless wisdom about how to control our minds and emotions, regardless of the turmoil happening outside. What they knew, and what many of us have forgotten, is that while we can't control the world around us, we can control how we respond to it. In fact, that is the only thing that really matters. Imagine how much easier life would be if you didn't react negatively to challenges. If, instead of spiraling into anxiety, you simply observed what was happening, evaluated it, and then chose how you would act. That's what Stoicism teaches us. By applying Stoic principles, we can master the art of emotional resilience and turn every situation, whether good or bad, into an opportunity for growth. What can I control today? How can I react calmly to difficult situations? At its core, Stoicism is a toolless set of principles that help you outsmart the chaos, stress, and negativity that so often plague our lives. When you master these principles, you stop reacting to life's events and start responding to them with clarity, wisdom, and purpose. You learn to rise above external circumstances and control your emotional and mental state, regardless of what's happening in the world around you. Today, we're going to explore several key Stoic principles that can help you outsmart everyone else. These aren't just abstract ideas. These are real, actionable concepts that you can incorporate into your daily life to gain clarity, control, and ultimately happiness. If you apply these Stoic principles, you'll begin to navigate life's challenges with ease, making decisions that lead to personal success and fulfillment. Key 1. Control what you can control. Now, let's dive into the first key to outsmarting life. Control what you can control. Think about the last time you were frustrated by something you couldn't change: a long line at the store, a colleague's bad attitude, or a traffic jam. Did you spend energy stressing over it? Did you let that external event dictate your emotions? What if you had chosen not to react in that way? What if you'd simply accepted that the situation was out of your control and focused on what was within your power? Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control everything that happens around us: external events, other people's actions, or even natural occurrences like weather or illness. But we can always control how we respond to those events. This key insight is what separates those who live with stress, frustration, and chaos from those who find peace, clarity, and control in their lives. By practicing this principle, by focusing only on what is within your control, you liberate yourself from the tyranny of external forces. You stop wasting energy trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead, you channel that energy into improving the one thing that truly matters, yourself, your mindset, your choices, and your reactions. This, my friends, is the first step to outsmarting the chaos that surrounds you. By focusing on what is within our control, we release the grip of frustration, stress, and anxiety, and step into a state of clarity and personal power. This Stoic mindset not only helps us navigate life with calmness, but sets the stage for true emotional resilience, paving the way for further keys to unlock happiness and success. Key 2. Embrace obstacles as opportunities. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by a challenge? Whether it's a difficult task at work, a personal problem, or a setback in your plans, it's easy to see obstacles as something that stands in our way, something to avoid. But here's the second Stoic key: embrace obstacles as opportunities. What if I told you that every challenge you face could be an opportunity to learn, grow, and get stronger? Difficulties are things that show a person what they are made of. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In Stoicism, obstacles are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. Every difficulty presents a chance to cultivate inner strength, to improve your character, and to grow in ways that would not be possible without these challenges. The Stoic mindset sees adversity as a teacher, a tool for self-improvement. Here's the trick: when you face an obstacle, whether it's something big like losing a job, facing health issues, or small like missing a deadline or dealing with an inconvenience, don't see it as a punishment. Instead, embrace it as an opportunity for growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I become better because of this challenge? This shift in perspective doesn't just change how you view the world, it changes how you interact with it. It gives you power over situations that would otherwise feel like setbacks. Imagine how much more resilient you'd be if you stopped seeing life's challenges as personal attacks or failures. Instead, you saw them as opportunities to sharpen your mind, refine your skills, and build emotional strength. Every time you encounter an obstacle, instead of fearing it or resenting it, you embrace it with the attitude that you will come out of it stronger, wiser, and more prepared for future challenges. Think of every obstacle like a weight in the gym. At first, it may seem heavy, difficult to lift, but the more you confront it, the stronger you become. The key isn't to avoid the challenge, it's to face it with determination and learn how to use it to grow stronger. The Stoics believe that adversity is what forges strength. When you encounter hardships, don't resist them. Embrace them, and in doing so, you'll outsmart the fear and stress that normally come with them. Every challenge, no matter how large or small, holds the potential to make you better. The Stoics taught us that true growth comes from our ability to meet obstacles with strength, resilience, and clarity. By embracing the tough moments, you transform them from something to fear into something that works for you. This Stoic key is about turning every setback into an opportunity for personal development. By shifting our perspective on difficulties and viewing them as opportunities for growth, we learn to navigate life's challenges with resilience and wisdom. Obstacles no longer become sources of stress and frustration, but rather stepping stones that make us stronger and better equipped to face future challenges. The Stoic approach to adversity changes our relationship with life itself, allowing us to see the difficulties as the very tools that shape our character and lead us toward greater success. With this key in hand, we move closer to outsmarting the chaos of the world and finding true peace and strength in our daily lives. Key 3. Accept impermanence. Change is one of the only constants in life. The world moves, people change, the seasons shift, and moments slip away, never to return. As humans, we often struggle with change. We resist it, fight against it, and cling to what we know. We fear loss, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a job, or something we hold dear. But here's the third Stoic key: accept impermanence. Embrace the fact that nothing lasts forever, and in doing so, you will find true peace and freedom. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wrote in his journal, "The universe is change. Life is opinion." What he meant was that the only constant in life is change itself. Every moment we experience, whether good or bad, is fleeting. This is not a sad fact, but a liberating one. When you accept the impermanence of everything around you, you begin to stop holding on so tightly to things, people, and situations. Instead, you start to embrace life as it comes, understanding that it is all temporary and ever-changing. When we encounter loss or hardship, it's natural to feel sad or even defeated. But what the Stoics teach us is that it's not the loss itself that causes suffering. It's our attachment to what is impermanent. We fear losing things because we forget that they are only temporary. When we truly internalize the reality of impermanence, we begin to free ourselves from the anxiety that comes with loss. Instead of fearing change, we learn to embrace it, knowing that with every ending comes the opportunity for a new beginning. Think of life like a river that is constantly flowing. You can't stop the current, nor can you hold on to the water that has passed, but you can choose how you flow with it. When you accept impermanence, you understand that every moment, good or bad, is temporary. That fleeting joy you feel in a moment of success, the pain from a breakup or loss, the struggles you face today, none of it will last forever. And because of that, you can learn to experience life without clinging to the past or fearing the future. This doesn't mean that you should be indifferent to life's joys or losses. It doesn't mean you should shut yourself off from love, from ambition, or from the things that matter to you. It simply means that you should appreciate them while they are here, understanding that they are not permanent. By doing so, you can free yourself from the fear of losing them. You live more fully in the present moment, knowing that every experience, every encounter, is part of the beautiful ebb and flow of life. When you accept impermanence, you stop wasting energy trying to hold on to things that aren't meant to stay. You let go of resentment over things that have passed, and you free yourself from the burden of trying to control every detail. Instead, you focus on what's happening right now, the present moment. And in that present moment, you can find peace, joy, and satisfaction, knowing that nothing is permanent, and therefore everything is precious. Think of all the times you've clung to something, afraid of losing it. Whether it was a job, a relationship, or an idea of who you are or who you want to be, holding on too tightly only brings anxiety. The Stoics remind us that nothing in life stays the same. But instead of this being something to fear, it's something to accept. The moment you let go of attachment to what will eventually change is the moment you set yourself free. By embracing the impermanence of life, we stop clinging to the past and fearing the future. We live more fully in the present, appreciating what we have while we have it. We accept change not as a threat, but as a natural part of life's rhythm. And by doing so, we not only outsmart the chaos that comes with change, we find true peace, knowing that everything, including our challenges, is temporary. By recognizing that everything in life is temporary, we are able to free ourselves from the anxiety of attachment and fear of loss. Rather than clinging to the past or fearing the future, we learn to live fully in the present moment, appreciating life for what it is right now. This key enables us to navigate change with grace, knowing that it is an inevitable part of life's journey. By letting go of what we cannot control and embracing the fleeting nature of all things, we gain the freedom to live with peace, joy, and acceptance. Key 4. Master your emotions. In a world filled with constant distractions, pressures, and emotional triggers, it's easy to let our emotions control us. We've all experienced that overwhelming rush of anger when someone cuts us off in traffic, or the deep frustration when things don't go as planned. But here's the fourth Stoic key: master your emotions. The Stoics believe that true strength comes from controlling how we react to the world, rather than letting the world dictate how we feel. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, often reminded himself in his journals that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Emotions, in and of themselves, are not inherently bad. They are part of being human, and they serve to signal something is happening in our lives. But Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to it. Mastering your emotions means not allowing anger, frustration, or sadness to take over. It means not reacting impulsively, but responding with wisdom and clarity. Let's face it, life can be messy. People will disappoint you, situations will frustrate you, and things will not always go your way. But rather than allowing your emotions to take control in these moments, Stoicism asks us to pause and evaluate. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, we can choose to respond with calmness, understanding, and reason. It's about taking a moment to detach yourself from the emotional flood and choosing a course of action based on rational thought and virtue rather than emotional impulse. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, taught us that we should not allow our emotions to control our actions. For no man is free who is not master of himself. When we fail to master our emotions, we lose control over our responses to the world. We become slaves to our anger, frustration, or fear, letting those emotions dictate our behavior. But when we take charge of our emotional responses, we gain the freedom to act according to our values and goals, rather than being tossed around by whatever happens to us. By mastering our emotions, we not only improve our own lives, but also influence the world around us. Imagine how much more effective you can be in your career, in your relationships, or in your personal life if you aren't constantly reacting to every emotional trigger. Stoics are not emotionless. They simply know that emotional responses should be tempered with reason, wisdom, and clarity. When we control our reactions, we open the door to true freedom and happiness. Mastering your emotions is not about suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them, understanding where they come from, and choosing to respond in a way that serves you rather than detracts from your well-being. This is the true meaning of emotional intelligence, being able to navigate through the ups and downs of life without being ruled by your feelings. By practicing Stoic techniques like mindfulness, self-reflection, and rational thinking, you can develop the ability to act with purpose and poise, no matter what life throws your way. The Stoic key of mastering your emotions doesn't mean you become cold or unfeeling. It means you cultivate the strength to face life with clarity, without being overwhelmed by the emotional turbulence around you. When you can control your emotions, you outsmart the chaos of the world. You remain centered and poised no matter how many external forces try to throw you off balance. This is the power of Stoicism. It gives you the ability to act with purpose and live a life defined by reason, not by emotional turmoil. Stoicism teaches us to detach ourselves from emotional impulses, allowing us to respond with reason, clarity, and wisdom. By understanding our emotions and controlling how we react to them, we gain true freedom. We no longer let the world control us through anger, fear, or frustration. Instead, we master ourselves, which empowers us to navigate challenges with grace and resilience. By cultivating this emotional mastery, we create a more peaceful and focused life, one where we are in control of our actions and reactions. This key opens the door to greater inner peace and happiness. Key 5. Focus on what you can control. One of the most powerful Stoic keys is perhaps the simplest to understand, but often the hardest to practice. Focus on what you can control. In a world where so much is uncertain, volatile, and unpredictable, we often find ourselves stressed and overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of things outside of our control. We look at global events, personal struggles, or the actions of others, and it feels like there's nothing we can do to change the outcome. But the Stoics teach us that our true power lies in focusing only on what we have control over: our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound statement is the essence of Stoic wisdom. When we focus on what we can control and let go of the things outside our sphere of influence, we stop wasting energy on futile concerns. We free ourselves from the emotional chaos that comes from trying to control things we have no power over. Think about all the time you spend worrying about things you can't change: other people's opinions, global events, the weather, your past mistakes, or things that are simply beyond your control. This constant worry drains your mental and emotional energy, leaving you feeling powerless. But when you shift your focus to what is within your control, the way you react, your mindset, the actions you choose to take, you regain your power. Here's the key. We cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. Imagine you are faced with criticism or failure. It's easy to feel defeated, to spiral into self-doubt. But Stoicism teaches us to accept criticism as an opportunity for growth, not as a personal attack. You have the power to decide how you respond to that feedback. You can choose to see it as a chance to improve, or you can let it consume you with frustration and defensiveness. The Stoic way is to focus on your reaction, your response to the situation, rather than the situation itself. Another crucial aspect of focusing on what you can control is understanding the importance of self-discipline and personal effort. The Stoics were firm believers in the idea that we have control over our actions, our habits, and our mindset. Think about your daily routine. Do you focus on what you can do today to improve, or do you get bogged down by thoughts of things you cannot change? Stoicism teaches us that our energy should be directed inward on our own actions so that we can shape our future based on the choices we make right now. Mastering this key requires practice. It's easy to get caught up in things we cannot control, especially when life feels overwhelming. But the practice of focusing on what we can control starts with mindfulness. It starts with recognizing when our thoughts are drifting into anxiety about the future or regret about the past, and gently bringing them back to the present moment. It's about recognizing our emotional triggers and learning how to respond to them with calm and reason. When you focus on what you can control, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstance. You realize that you have the power to shape your own life regardless of external events. Whether you're facing a setback, a challenge, or a difficult situation, your response is yours to decide. You don't need to worry about the uncontrollable. You only need to focus on what you can do today, right now, to make a difference. And this, my friends, is where true strength lies. The Stoic key of focusing on what you can control is not about ignoring the challenges life throws at you. It's about shifting your attention to what matters most: your thoughts, your mindset, and your actions. When you stop worrying about things outside your control and focus on what you can change, you free yourself from the mental chains of anxiety and stress. You gain the power to take deliberate, intentional steps toward your goals and live a life of purpose. By focusing our energy on what we can influence, our actions, thoughts, and responses, we free ourselves from the frustration of trying to control things outside of our power. This simple yet profound practice allows us to regain mental and emotional clarity, leading to greater peace and empowerment. By internalizing this principle, we gain the strength to face any challenge and take deliberate action toward a meaningful and fulfilling life. This is the true power of Stoicism, the ability to focus on what is within our control and let go of the rest. Key 6. Practice negative visualization. Have you ever noticed how we often take things for granted until we lose them? Our health, relationships, possessions, we rarely appreciate them fully until they're gone. This brings us to our 6th Stoic key. Practice negative visualization. While it may sound pessimistic at first, this powerful mental exercise actually leads to greater happiness and contentment in your daily life. The ancient Stoics developed a practice called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This isn't about dwelling on negativity. Rather, it's about mentally rehearsing potential challenges or losses. Seneca advised, "He who foresees calamity suffers it twice over, but when done correctly, negative visualization actually reduces suffering by preparing the mind and increasing gratitude." Imagine for a moment that you lost something or someone you value deeply. Your job, your home, a loved one, or your health. How would you feel? What would you miss most? This brief mental exercise does something remarkable. It instantly makes you appreciate what you have right now. When you contemplate the impermanence of what you value, you stop taking it for granted and begin to savor each moment with it. This practice also builds resilience by removing the element of surprise from life's inevitable setbacks. By mentally rehearsing potential difficulties, you develop emotional preparation that helps you respond with greater composure when real challenges arise. Epictetus taught his students to remind themselves of the transient nature of all things. When you kiss your child, remember that they are mortal. While this may sound harsh, it actually deepens our appreciation and prepares us for life's uncertainties. Consider how often we become upset when our expectations aren't met. We expect traffic to flow smoothly, technology to work flawlessly, and people to behave exactly as we wish. But when we practice negative visualization, we prepare ourselves for the reality that things don't always go as planned. This mental preparation creates a psychological buffer that helps us maintain equilibrium when faced with unexpected challenges. Negative visualization also helps us identify what truly matters. When you imagine losing various aspects of your life, you naturally prioritize what's most important. This clarity of values enables you to make better decisions and focus your energy where it counts most. You begin to distinguish between superficial desires and what genuinely contributes to your well-being. To practice this key, set aside a few minutes each day to contemplate what your life would be like without something you value. Imagine losing your home, your job, your health, or even a loved one. Don't dwell on these thoughts, simply acknowledge them briefly, then return to the present with renewed appreciation. Over time, this practice will transform your relationship with everything you have, fostering a deep sense of gratitude that no external circumstance can take away. By regularly practicing negative visualization, you develop both emotional resilience and profound gratitude. You prepare your mind for life's inevitable challenges, while simultaneously enhancing your appreciation for the present moment. This powerful Stoic technique doesn't make you pessimistic. Rather, it helps you find joy in what you already have and strengthens you for whatever may come. By implementing this practice of negative visualization, we cultivate a mindset that appreciates the present while remaining prepared for life's uncertainties. This mental exercise builds emotional resilience and deepens our gratitude for what we have right now. Rather than creating anxiety, it actually reduces it by removing the shock factor from potential losses and helping us recognize what truly matters. Through this Stoic practice, we gain both psychological strength and a richer experience of our current blessings. Key 7. Cultivate virtue and excellence. What would you say is the ultimate goal in life? Is it happiness, wealth, success? For the Stoics, the answer was simpler and more profound. Virtue. Our seventh key to outsmarting life through Stoicism is to cultivate virtue and excellence in everything you do. The Stoics believe that living virtuously with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance was not just the path to a good life, but the good life itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." This straightforward guidance cuts through the endless debates about ethics and morality and focuses on action. The Stoics understood that true fulfillment comes not from external achievements or possessions, but from developing excellence of character, from becoming the best version of yourself regardless of circumstances. In Stoic philosophy, virtue isn't about following rigid moral codes or seeking perfection. It's about striving to embody four cardinal virtues in your daily actions: wisdom making good decisions, courage doing what's right despite fear, justice treating others fairly, and temperance practicing moderation. When you orient your life around these virtues, external circumstances, whether favorable or challenging, lose their power over your sense of worth and fulfillment. Consider how different this approach is from what our culture typically values. We're often taught that happiness comes from achievements, possessions, or status, but the Stoics recognized that these external measures are unreliable and ultimately unsatisfying. True satisfaction comes from within, from knowing that you've acted with integrity, courage, and wisdom, regardless of the outcome. When you base your sense of success on virtue rather than externals, you gain independence from the opinions of others and the ups and downs of fortune. This focus on virtue doesn't mean ignoring practical matters or abandoning ambition. Instead, it provides a framework for approaching all aspects of life. Before making decisions, ask yourself not just, will this benefit me, but is this the right thing to do? Does this reflect wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance? When you consistently align your actions with these virtues, you build a character that remains unshaken by life's inevitable challenges. The pursuit of virtue also provides clarity in difficult situations. When faced with complex choices, the Stoic doesn't ask what will make me happy or what will others think, but rather what is the virtuous course of action. This simple but powerful shift in perspective cuts through confusion and helps you make decisions you won't regret later. It guides you toward actions that build character rather than merely seeking pleasure or avoiding pain. Epictetus, who began life as a slave before becoming a respected philosopher, taught that freedom comes from living virtuously. He understood that true liberty isn't about doing whatever you want, but about becoming the kind of person who consistently does what is right. This inner freedom, the freedom that comes from excellence of character, is something that no external force can take away, even in the most challenging circumstances. To cultivate virtue in your own life, start by identifying areas where your actions might not align with your highest values. Perhaps you lack courage in speaking truth, patience in dealing with others, or wisdom in making important decisions. Choose one virtue to focus on each day. Ask yourself regularly, how can I demonstrate wisdom in this situation? How can I act with courage here? How can I be more just or temperate? With practice, these virtues become second nature, a compass that guides you through life's complexities. By making virtue your primary goal, you gain something invaluable, a life of integrity and purpose that remains stable regardless of external circumstances. You develop the inner strength to face any situation with grace and dignity, and you discover that true happiness doesn't depend on what happens to you, but on the excellence of character you bring to whatever happens. Through the cultivation of virtue and excellence, we discover a source of fulfillment that transcends external circumstances. By focusing on developing wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in our daily actions, we create an internal standard of success that no one can take away. This Stoic approach to life provides both practical guidance for difficult decisions and a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. As we align our actions with virtue, we build a character that remains steady amidst life's storms, finding true freedom in our ability to choose right action regardless of the situation. Key 8. Practice mindful presence in our hyper-connected world of constant notifications, deadlines, and distractions. Our attention is constantly pulled in multiple directions. We find ourselves physically present in one place, while our minds are elsewhere reliving past mistakes or worrying about future problems. This divided attention prevents us from fully experiencing our lives and making clear decisions. The eighth Stoic key offers a powerful antidote. Practice mindful presence. By training yourself to be fully engaged with the present moment, you gain clarity, peace, and effectiveness that few others achieve. Marcus Aurelius advised himself, "Concentrate every minute on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly." With justice, this guidance captures the essence of Stoic mindfulness, bringing your complete attention to whatever you're doing right now. The Stoics understood that our power exists only in the present moment. The past is unchangeable, the future is uncertain, but the present is where we can take meaningful action. Think about how often your mind wanders away from what you're currently doing. While in a conversation, you might be planning what to say next rather than truly listening. While working, your thoughts might drift to weekend plans, while spending time with family work concerns might intrude. This mental fragmentation not only reduces your effectiveness, but also prevents you from fully appreciating the richness of your life as it unfolds. Stoic mindfulness doesn't require meditation cushions or special techniques, though these can be helpful. It's about bringing your full attention to whatever you're doing, whether that's having a conversation, completing a task, or even something as simple as eating a meal. When you notice your mind wandering to worries about the future or ruminations about the past, gently bring it back to what's directly in front of you. This practice builds the mental muscle of attention, which becomes stronger with consistent exercise. Epictetus taught his students to make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This advice captures the practical benefit of mindful presence. By focusing completely on what you're doing right now, you maximize your effectiveness in the only moment where you have actual power, the present. You stop diluting your energy with regrets about the past or anxieties about the future, channeling it instead into the task or interaction at hand. This practice of mindful presence also enhances your ability to perceive reality clearly. When your attention is divided, you miss important details and subtle cues, but when you're fully present, you notice nuances in conversations, detect patterns in your work, and appreciate the small pleasures of daily life. This heightened awareness leads to better decisions, stronger relationships, and a deeper appreciation for your experiences. The Stoics also recognized that mindful presence is essential for managing emotions effectively. When you're caught in a spiral of anger or anxiety, bringing your attention fully to the present moment, to your breathing, your physical sensations, your immediate surroundings, can interrupt the cycle. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather experiencing them mindfully instead of being carried away by them. To cultivate this key in your daily life, try setting regular reminders to check in with yourself. Ask, where is my attention right now? Am I fully present with what I'm doing? Practice single tasking instead of multitasking. When speaking with someone, give them your complete attention. When working on a project, immerse yourself fully in it. Even routine activities like showering or eating can become opportunities to practice presence by engaging all your senses in the experience. By developing the ability to be fully present, you gain a superpower that few possess in our distracted world. You experience life more richly, make clearer decisions, and develop deeper connections with others. This Stoic practice doesn't just make you more effective, it transforms your relationship with time itself, helping you inhabit each moment fully rather than letting life pass by in a blur of divided attention. Through practicing mindful presence, we reclaim our attention from the pull of past regrets and future anxieties, anchoring ourselves firmly in the only moment where we have genuine power, the present. This Stoic discipline enables us to experience life with greater clarity, depth, and effectiveness. By bringing our full attention to whatever we're doing, we not only perform better, but also appreciate the richness of each moment. This key enables us to break free from the mental fragmentation that characterizes modern life, creating instead a sense of wholeness and engagement that enhances everything we do. The path to Stoic wisdom. As we conclude our exploration of Stoic principles, it's worth reflecting on the profound impact these ancient teachings can have on our modern lives. From controlling what we can control to mastering our emotions, from embracing obstacles as opportunities to accepting impermanence, these timeless philosophies offer a roadmap to navigate life's complexities with grace, resilience, and purpose. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality. This isn't abstract philosophy meant to be discussed in academic circles. It's a living, breathing approach to life that anyone can implement starting today. Each of the keys we've explored represents a skill that can be developed through consistent practice and reflection. Like building physical strength, developing Stoic resilience requires regular exercise of these mental muscles. Imagine your life 6 months from now if you were to incorporate just one of these principles into your daily routine. How much calmer might you be when facing challenges? How much more purposeful could your actions become? How much less would external events disturb your inner peace? The potential transformation is profound, not because these ideas are complex, but because they are powerfully simple and address the root causes of our daily struggles. Remember that Stoicism isn't about becoming emotionless or detached from life's experiences. Rather, it's about engaging with life more fully and authentically by focusing on what truly matters. It's about finding freedom not in controlling the external world, but in mastering your inner landscape. It's about recognizing that true happiness comes not from what happens to you, but from how you respond to what happens. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." This simple truth captures the essence of Stoic wisdom, that we already possess everything we need for a fulfilling life. By shifting our focus from external circumstances to internal virtues, from what we can't control to what we can, we unlock a source of strength and contentment that is always available to us, regardless of our circumstances. Today, I invite you to choose just one of these Stoic principles and commit to practicing it deliberately in the coming week. Notice how it affects your thoughts, your emotions, and your interactions with others. Small, consistent steps lead to profound transformation over time. The ancient Stoics developed these principles through years of practice and reflection. They understood that wisdom is not acquired in a day, but through patient, persistent effort. In a world of constant change and challenge, Stoicism offers something rare and precious, a stable foundation on which to build a meaningful life. By integrating these principles into your daily routine, you aren't just adopting a philosophy, you're cultivating a way of being that can sustain you through life's inevitable ups and downs. You're developing the clarity to see what matters most, the courage to face difficulties head-on, and the wisdom to navigate life's complexities with grace. The path of Stoic wisdom isn't always easy, but it is always worthwhile. As you continue on this journey, remember that progress, not perfection, is the goal. Every time you pause before reacting emotionally, every time you embrace a challenge as an opportunity, every time you focus on what you can control, you are growing stronger and wiser. And in that strength and wisdom, you will find not just resilience in the face of life's challenges, but true fulfillment and peace. By embracing these Stoic principles, we equip ourselves with timeless tools to navigate life's complexities. We learn to find strength not in controlling external events, but in mastering our responses to them. We discover that true freedom lies in focusing on what we can control, embracing obstacles as opportunities, accepting impermanence, and cultivating emotional resilience. As we integrate these practices into our daily lives, we develop not just a philosophy, but a way of being that transforms challenges into catalysts for growth and leads us toward a life of purpose, wisdom, and inner peace.